I want you to stop everything you are doing for just a moment. Take a breath. Now be honest with yourself. When you woke up this morning and looked in the mirror, did you see the face of someone enjoying the golden years they were promised? Or did you see the tired, heavy eyes of someone who is secretly terrified of checking their bank balance? There is a silent scream happening in millions of homes across America right now. It happens at the kitchen table when the bills arrive and the math simply doesn't add up. It happens in the grocery store aisle when you pick up a carton of eggs, look at the price tag, and feel a physical knot of anxiety in your stomach. It happens late at night staring at the ceiling, wondering, I worked hard for 40 years. I did everything right. Why do I feel like I am drowning? If you are feeling this, I need you to listen to me very carefully because the media will not tell you this. The politicians certainly won't tell you this. You are not crazy, you are not a failure, and you are definitely not alone. We are living through one of the most brutal, silent economic collapses in history. They tell us the economy is strong. They show us charts saying unemployment is low and the stock market is booming. But let me ask you, can you eat GDP? Can you pay your mortgage with a stock market chart? Of course not. The reality on the ground is terrifying. The average American family is now carrying over $100,000 in debt. Let that number sink in. $100,000. That isn't just a number on a spreadsheet, that is a shackle. That is a prison sentence that keeps you working when your body is screaming for rest. That is the reason you can't sleep. That is the reason marriages are falling apart. We have crossed a dangerous line where hard work is no longer enough to survive in America. The system has shifted beneath our feet, and if we don't wake up to what is really happening right now, we are going to be buried by it. But here's the twist, and this is why you need to stay with me. This video is not here to tell you how bad things are. You already know that. You feel it every time you swipe your card at the gas pump. This video is your life raft. This is your battle plan. Today, I am going to peel back the curtain on why this is happening, exposing the silent depression that the banks are desperate to hide from you. And most importantly, I am going to give you a step-by-step, ruthless strategy to break these chains, protect your retirement, and reclaim your dignity even if you think it's too late. This is the truth that will set you free. Let us start by ripping off the bandage and talking about the great gaslight of our time. Inflation. The government tells us inflation is cooling. They say it's down to 3%. Do you believe them? Does it feel like prices are only up 3% when you go to Costco? No, because that is a lie. Here is the brutal reality of your wallet. Over the last 5 years, the cost of the things you actually need to survive, food to eat, energy to heat your home, insurance to protect your family has exploded. We aren't talking about 3%. We are talking about a cumulative increase of 30%, 40%, even 50% in the categories that matter most. Think about your grocery bill. 5 years ago, $100 filled a cart. Today, it barely fills a bag. You are standing there, forced to choose between meat and medicine, or downgrading to cheaper, processed foods just to keep the pantry full. That isn't just economics. That is a health crisis waiting to happen. Look at your insurance premiums. Homeowners insurance is up 30% in a single year in some states. Car insurance is skyrocketing. Property taxes are climbing. These are non-negotiable costs. You can't just cut back on property taxes. You have to pay them, or you lose your home. Now look at your income. Maybe you got a small cost of living adjustment. Maybe you got a 3% raise. But if your cost of living went up 40% and your income went up 10%, you are mathematically 30% poorer than you were 5 years ago. This is what economists call wage divergence, but I call it financial suffocation. You are being slowly suffocated by a system that devalues your money faster than you can earn it. And what happens when the paycheck runs out before the month does? You do what millions of good, honest, hardworking Americans are forced to do. You reach for the plastic. You use the credit card, not because you are irresponsible. Not for a vacation to Hawaii or a luxury handbag. You use it to put gas in the car so you can get to work. You use it to buy groceries for the grandkids. You use it to pay the electric bill. You are using debt to finance survival. And that is where the trap snaps shut. Because the Federal Reserve, in their wisdom, raised interest rates to fight the very inflation they caused. So now, that credit card debt isn't costing you 12% like it used to. It's costing you 25%, 28%, even 30%. Do the math. If you carry a $10,000 balance at 25% interest, and you only make the minimum payments, you will be paying that debt off for decades. You will pay back 3 or 4 times what you borrowed. You are effectively working hours, days, weeks of your life just to pay interest to a bank that creates money out of thin air. This is modern-day serfdom, and it is destroying the middle class from the inside out. But the credit card debt you see on your statement is only the tip of the iceberg. There is something much more dangerous lurking beneath the surface, something the official reports are barely tracking yet. It's called phantom debt. Have you seen those buy now, pay later options everywhere? Affirm, Klarna, Afterpay? They are on every checkout screen now. Split your purchase into 4 easy payments. It sounds so innocent, it sounds helpful. But it is a trap door. Millions of Americans, especially those on fixed incomes or tight budgets, are using these services not for luxuries, but for necessities. People are using buy now, pay later for groceries, for shoes for their children, for basic household items. Why is this dangerous? Because this debt often doesn't show up on your credit report immediately. It's invisible. It allows you to stack up multiple payment obligations until your monthly cash flow is completely devoured. You think you can afford the $50 payment here and the $40 payment there, but suddenly you have 10 of them. And when the music stops, you have no money left for rent. We are seeing a massive spike in what we call silent defaults. People are defaulting on these microloans first. It's the canary in the coal mine. It signals that the consumer is tapped out. The tank is empty. And let's talk about the car in your driveway. The auto loan crisis is exploding right before our eyes. The average car payment in America has crossed $700 a month. Then there is the biggest phantom of all, the uniquely American tragedy, medical debt. You can be responsible your whole life. You can save, you can budget, and then one diagnosis, one fall, one trip to the ER, and suddenly, you are staring at a $50,000 bill that insurance refuses to cover. Medical debt is the #1 cause of bankruptcy in the United States. It strikes without warning. It doesn't care if you are a good person. It doesn't care if you are 60 or 80. It wipes out nest eggs overnight. I know many of you are terrified of this. You are hoarding cash, afraid to spend a dime because you are scared one illness will take it all. That is not living. That is existing in a state of chronic fear. For generations, we were told the American dream was simple. Go to school. Get a good job, buy a house, pay it off, and you'll be safe. Your home is your castle. Your home is your piggy bank. But what happens when you have to break the piggy bank just to survive? What happens when the walls that are supposed to protect you become the very thing that traps you? We are witnessing a terrifying trend right now that the banks love but should keep you up at night. The massive surge in HELOCs, home equity lines of credit. Homeowners are sitting on record amounts of equity because home prices skyrocketed over the last few years. On paper, you look rich. Your Zillow estimate says your house is worth $500,000, maybe even $800,000. You feel wealthy. But here is the problem. You can't buy groceries with your home's value unless you sell it or borrow against it. And that is exactly what desperate families are doing. They are treating their homes like ATM machines. They are taking out HELOCs to pay off those suffocating credit cards. They are doing cash-out refinances to pay for their kids' college tuition because student loans are too expensive. They are extracting the wealth from their walls just to keep the lights on. This is dangerous. I cannot stress this enough. This is extremely dangerous. When you use your home equity to pay off credit card debt, you are making a fatal error. You are trading unsecured debt for secured debt. If you can't pay your Visa bill, they ruin your credit score and call you a lot. But if you can't pay your HELOC, they take your house. You are putting your shelter at risk to pay for yesterday's groceries. We are seeing older Americans, people who should be mortgage-free by now, carrying massive mortgage balances into their 70s and 80s. They are bringing debt into retirement, precisely when their income becomes fixed and medical costs explode. Imagine the stress of being 75 years old, trying to enjoy the rest you earned, but having a $2,000 mortgage payment hanging over your head every single month. It forces you to keep working at Walmart. It forces you to say no to your grandkids. It forces you to live in fear of the mailman bringing another bill. This is not the retirement you were promised. And it's not just the older generation. Look at the younger generation, your children and grandchildren. The housing market is a locked door to them. Interest rates and prices have made buying a starter home mathematically impossible for most. Rents are eating up 50% of their income. This forces them to rely on you. This creates the sandwich generation problem. If you are in your 50s or 60s, you are likely squeezed from both sides. You are trying to take care of your own aging parents who are living longer but running out of money, and at the same time you are trying to help your adult children who are drowning in student loans and high rent. You are the financial backbone of the family. But let me ask you, who takes care of the backbone when it breaks? You are depleting your own retirement savings to save everyone else, leaving nothing for yourself. I want to pause the numbers for a second because we need to talk about the heart. The most damaging part of this debt crisis isn't the interest rate. It isn't the credit score. It isn't even the bank balance. It is the shame. Debt thrives in the dark. It grows on silence. I talk to people every day who haven't told their spouse how bad it really is. They hide the credit card statements. They intercept the mail before anyone else sees it. They carry this secret burden alone, and it eats away at their soul. You feel like you failed. You look at social media, and everyone else seems to be doing great. They are posting pictures of vacations in Italy, new trucks, fancy dinners. You think, what is wrong with me? Why can't I figure this out? Why am I the only one struggling? Listen to me closely. Social media is a highlight reel. Your life is the behind-the-scenes footage. Do not compare your reality to someone else's illusion. Those people posting vacation photos, they funded it with a credit card they can't pay off. That new truck? It has a $1,000 monthly payment and they are 2 months behind. Most of the wealth you see is a mirage fueled by cheap credit that is now becoming expensive debt. You are comparing yourself to a ghost. This shame leads to isolation. You stop going out because you can't afford it. You stop inviting friends over because you're embarrassed about your house or your lack of snacks. You withdraw. And that isolation leads to depression, which leads to poor health, which leads to more medical bills. It is a vicious cycle designed to break you. We have to break the silence. You have to forgive yourself. You made the best decisions you could with the information you had at the time. But the game was rigged. The rules changed in the middle of the match. It is not your fault that healthcare costs rose 500% while wages stagnated. It is not your fault that colleges hiked tuition by 1,000%. It is not your fault that the cost of simply existing has outpaced the value of labor. So stop beating yourself up. You need your energy for the fight ahead. Because we are about to pivot. We are done looking at the problem. We are done analyzing the trap. Now, we are going to look at the solution. How do we escape a $100,000 trap? How do we climb out of a hole this deep when the walls are made of mud? It requires a fundamental shift in your psychology. You cannot solve this problem with the same mindset that got you into it. You need a wartime mindset. In peacetime, we are casual. We are optimistic. We think things will work out. We spend freely. In wartime, we are focused. We are disciplined. We are ruthless. We prioritize survival and victory above all else. You are in a financial war. The enemy is the interest rate. The enemy is inflation. The enemy is the marketing machine designed to separate you from your money. You need to get mad. Get angry at the debt. Get angry at the banks profiting off your sweat. Use that anger as fuel. We are going to declare martial law on your bank account. No more, I don't know where the money went. Every dollar is a soldier, and every soldier needs a mission. If you don't give your dollars a mission, they will desert you. We are going to stop bleeding. We are going to cauterize the wound. And then, we are going to attack. Are you ready? Here is the battle plan. So, how do we start? We start by stopping the bleeding. Step 1 is the ruthless audit. Most people avoid looking at their bank statements because it physically hurts. It's like avoiding the doctor because you're afraid of the diagnosis. But denial is deadly. You cannot defeat an enemy you refuse to see. Tonight, I want you to do something brave. I want you to print out your last 3 months of bank statements and credit card bills. Do not just look at them on your phone screen. Print them out on paper. Get a red highlighter. Sit down at the kitchen table, pour a cup of coffee made at home, and go line by line. I want you to mark every single expense that was not essential for your biological survival. The subscription you forgot about? Mark it. The streaming service you barely watch? Mark it. The impulsive Amazon purchase at 11 p.m.? Mark it. The dining out because you were too tired to cook? Mark it. You will be shocked. I guarantee you there is $200, $300, maybe even $500 a month leaking out of your pockets without you even realizing it. This is the latte factor on steroids. You need to be ruthless. Call the cable company and threaten to cancel. Get the rate lowered or cut the cord. Cancel the gym membership you haven't used in 6 months. Walk outside. It's free and better for you. Stop buying convenience. Convenience is a tax on the poor. Cook in batches. This isn't about being cheap. This is about being intentional. Every dollar you save here is a soldier you can deploy to the front lines of your debt war. And here is the hardest part of step 1. Stop using the credit cards. Today, right now. Cut them up if you have to. Freeze them in a block of ice. Delete them from your phone's digital wallet and your Amazon account. You need to introduce friction back into your life. If you have to walk to the other room to get your card, you might not make the purchase. If it's one click away, you're doomed. You cannot get out of a hole while you are still digging. Put down the shovel. Once you have stopped the bleeding, we move to step 2, the Avalanche Method. Now there are 2 schools of thought on paying off debt, the snowball and the avalanche. The snowball method says you pay the smallest balance first to get a psychological win. In a normal economy, that's great. But we are not in a normal economy. We are in a high-interest crisis. You do not have the luxury of feelings right now. You need math. You need the avalanche. Think of it this way, that 28% APR credit card is a raging fire in your living room. The 4% student loan is a leaky faucet in the basement. You do not fix the faucet when the living room is burning down. You put out the fire. List your debts not by the size of the balance, but by the interest rate from highest to lowest. Ignore the balance for a moment. Look at the rate. That store card with 29% interest? That is enemy number 1. That credit card with 24% interest? Enemy number 2. You pay the minimum on everything else, your mortgage, your car, your student loans, and you throw every single spare dollar at enemy number 1. Sell things in your garage that are gathering dust. Do you really need that old equipment? Sell it. Take an extra shift. Monetize a hobby. Use that found money from your ruthless audit. Attack enemy number 1 with a vengeance. When it is dead, take all the money you are paying on it and roll it into the fight against enemy number 2. This is how you gain momentum. This is how you destroy the compound interest that is keeping you poor. And a crucial note for homeowners. Leave the low-interest debt alone for now. If you have a mortgage at 3% or an old student loan at 4%, do not rush to pay it off early. Listen to me. Inflation is actually helping you with those debts. If inflation is 5% and your debt is fixed at 3%, the bank is technically losing money on you. Don't use your precious cash to pay off cheap debt when you have expensive debt killing you. Be strategic. Be a general, not a victim. Now, step 3. Build the fortress. While you are paying down debt, you face a massive risk. What if the car breaks down? What if a tooth cracks? If you have put every penny into debt and have zero cash, you will be forced to swipe the credit card again. You will be right back in the trap. You need a shield. You need a freedom fund. Most financial gurus say save $1,000. In this economy, that is not enough. A car repair is $1,000. A dental crown is $1,500. Aim for 1 full month of essential expenses in cash. Keep it sitting in a high-yield savings account, separate from your checking. This money is not for investing. It is not for spending. It is insurance against life. It buys you peace of mind. When the unexpected happens, and it will, you don't panic. You don't swipe. You use the Freedom Fund. It turns a crisis into a mere inconvenience. It keeps you on the path. And for those of you approaching retirement or already there, I have a specific warning. Protect your principal. Do not gamble with your nest egg trying to catch up. If you can't afford to lose it, don't risk it. Look at treasury bills. Look at CDs. Lock in these higher rates while you can. Don't chase high returns in risky stocks or crypto because you feel behind. Losing 20% of your portfolio at age 65 is a disaster you cannot recover from easily. Right now, the return of your capital is more important than the return on your capital. Finally, step 4. Income reinvention. Here is a hard truth that nobody wants to hear. You might need to make more money. I know, you wanted to retire. You wanted to rest. But if the numbers don't work, you only have two choices. Lower your standard of living drastically to match your income, or increase your income to match your life. But here's the good news. Earning money in the digital age is different. You don't have to dig ditches. You have wisdom. You have skills that the younger generation has forgotten. Consulting, teaching, tutoring, managing properties. Pet sitting. The gig economy isn't just for 20-year-olds. I know seniors making $1,000 a month just by organizing people's homes or helping small businesses with bookkeeping. Think about your human capital. What do you know? Can you fix things? Can you sew? Can you negotiate? Monetize that experience. Even an extra $500 a month changes the math completely. That $500 covers the inflation on your groceries. It pays the utility bill. It stops you from dipping into your savings. Don't look at it as having to work. Look at it as staying active and getting paid for it. It keeps your mind sharp. It keeps you connected. And most importantly, it buys your freedom. Listen to me closely as we wrap this up. I know the numbers we talked about today are scary. $100,000 in debt sounds like a mountain you can never climb. It feels like a weight that will crush you. But remember this, the mountain doesn't care if you climb it. The mountain has no feelings. The mountain is just dirt and rock, but you care. You have a heart. You have a spirit. And that makes you infinitely stronger than a pile of debt. You have survived 100% of your bad days so far. Think about that. You have lived through recessions before. You have lived through political upheaval, personal tragedies, loss, and heartbreak. You are resilient. You are tough. You come from a lineage of survivors who built this country with their bare hands. Do not let a bank statement defeat you. This debt does not define you. Your bank account balance is not a measure of your worth as a human being. It is just a math problem. And math problems have solutions. I want you to close your eyes for a second. Seriously, do it. Imagine a life exactly 1 year from today. Imagine walking out to your mailbox. You open it, and for the first time in years, you don't feel that knot of fear in your stomach. You don't dread seeing an envelope with a red stamp. Imagine your phone ringing and you answer it cheerfully on the first ring because you know for a fact it is not a debt collector. It's a friend. It's your grandchild. Imagine sleeping through the night, deep and restful, knowing you have a plan, knowing you are in control, knowing you are safe, that life is possible. It is not a fantasy. It is waiting for you on the other side of this work. But it requires you to take that first terrifying step today, not tomorrow, not next week, today. Procrastination is the thief of wealth. Every day you wait is another day of interest compounding against you. Every day you wait is another day the system wins and you lose. Do not give them that satisfaction. Tonight, print the statements. Cut the cards. Have the hard conversation with your spouse. Cry if you have to. Scream if you have to. But do not stop moving. Be the hero of your own story. The cavalry isn't coming. The government isn't coming to bail you out. You are the cavalry. Don't let the system crush you. Stand up. Fight back. Reclaim your American dream, not the fake one they sold you on TV with the leased cars and the mortgaged mansions. I'm talking about the real dream, the dream of freedom, the dream of peace, the dream of dignity, the dream of looking your children in the eye and saying, "We are okay. You can do this. I believe in you." The path is hard, but the view from the top is worth it. If this video spoke to your soul, if you felt that spark of hope ignite in your chest, I am asking you to do two things right now. First, hit that subscribe button. We are building a community of fighters here, people who refuse to be victims of a broken economy, and I want you standing shoulder to shoulder with us. Second, and this is important, go to the comments below and declare your independence. I want you to write 3 simple words. I am taking control. Write it down. Make that declaration to the world, and more importantly, make that promise to yourself. Let this be the day you drew a line in the sand. Let this be the day everything changed. Thank you for watching. Stay strong. Stay focused. Keep fighting. And I will see you in the next video.